And I promise you, if you can do that, you will see TripAdvisor scores going through the roof. Let me ask you this about social media. Why do you think YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, why do you think they'll never merge? It's because if they did, they'd be called You Twitface. And you're laughing. Now let me ask you this, she who's laughing. I live with the rare neurological disorder Tourette's syndrome. And if you've been watching me for the last few minutes, you're probably thinking to yourself, there's something just not right about that boy.
No, I'm thinking
hold on, photo op. Hold on, photo op. All right, there we go, fantastic. So just to let you know, the great thing about Tourette's, there's two types, okay? One's catching, and now you've got it. So why are you pulling away? Why are you pulling away? Let me tell you about Tourette's syndrome. How do I best explain this? Because I'm 56, and it hit me when I was about 8 years old. It's like having a black box that sits inside of you, and what it does is it just pours out massive amounts of anxiety and OCD. Every single moment of my life, I feel as if my world is going to come to an end. It doesn't, and then it doesn't, and it's going to come to an end, and it doesn't. And I know it sounds crazy, but because of this rare neurological disorder, that's how my life feels all the time. And what happens is the anxiety builds up to the point where all of a sudden, if I do this, and by the way, I call this the chicken slap. And have you heard the word twitch? A twitch is a singularity. It isn't. It's sound and it's movement and it's song. And what it allows us with Tourette's to do is if we're feeling anxious or stressed or depressed or just, out of control a bit, what we're able to do is go, and we do that, and then everything comes back to normal. Okay? And what's interesting about this is, imagine you have a mum and dad. You're a mum and dad, and you have your child, and it's perfect in all ways. My father was a dentist, my mother was a teacher. And then around the age of 8, your child starts to do this and doesn't sleep well and gets angry, and also at school looks under his shoe like this. So, you know what kids are like at school, they're really honest. They called me Dog Poo Stew. Ho, for obvious reasons. All I can tell you is that, you learn to live with a rare neurological disorder, and it seems to me that everyone today is dealing with some sort of anxiety-based disorder. Does that make sense? Because you see all this puppetry, but it's all the anxiety and stuff that happens on behind me. And here, let me ask you this. How many of you have one of these, a smartphone? Well, I promise you this. If you have a smartphone, you have Tourette's. Can I prove that to you? Because what happens if you don't pick this up? What happens? Doesn't it call to you? Doesn't it say, hey, I've probably got an email for you? There are people out there today who are checking this and living this. They check this anywhere between 100 and 200 times a day. Not only between the hours of 8 and 8, they get up at midnight, and some of you know what I'm talking about. You wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're doing this. So do you understand that I have Tourette's? So I have to, by the way, all my Tourette's, all my twitches, you might want to notice, are all on the right-hand side of my body, not the left. Who knows why? So maybe I've just got half the Tourette's. But so mine stuff is all on this side. And don't you do the same thing? When I do this, all my anxiety goes away. And doesn't it happen for you? You've got the phone here. The longer you leave it, and then you pick it up, and you go, So do you see? This is my twitch, and this is yours. And by the way, you're probably thinking to yourself, why does this guy not twitch? So why does this guy not swear? Only 10% of us swear. And it's the same thing with you, because when you pick this up, normally once out of 10 times, when the boss calls, you go, oh, shoot. So there you go. As far as I'm concerned, you've all got Tourette's syndrome.